Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate y'all tuning back in. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Want to do a real quick video on something that I've been thinking of the last couple of mornings when I was taking two of my dogs for a walk. And that's the fact that the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting cooler. You can really feel a difference in the air early in the morning when you're out right now. Before I work out, I've been taking the dogs, like I said, for a little walk. And this morning, the air just had a feel to it, like almost the fall feel, you know what I mean? And it just got me thinking about how this is the time of the year when I really start to keep one bait in my hand a lot. I mean, it's a bait that I can cover a ton of water with. And it's a bait that years ago, an old guy from a club that I used to fish in, I think it was the very first club I ever fished with. I got a couple of plaques on the wall from back in those days, just because I like to think back to that time when I was first getting into, not fishing, but tournament fishing, and had some older guys in that club, the Suffolk Bassmasters, that really showed me and helped me when I was trying to figure out the whole tournament thing out. You know, I could go fishing and catch a fish every now and again, bass fishing, and I had a couple of, a few good days. When I started fishing in tournaments, and maybe it was just me in my mind, fishing against the clock, that kind of thing, I was struggling. I was struggling pretty bad. And these guys, there were several of them. I'll throw a few names out. And you won't know any of them, but some of the guys who watch the videos from back where I'm from, they may know them. John Crow, Ed Jaquia, one of the best fishermen I've ever known. And I'm pretty sure John and Ed have passed. But Phil Schuyler, I think Phil's still alive, but he moved back up north, back home where he was from. Those guys were they were old school, and they would take you aside and show you some things at times. But I'll never forget, John Crow told me one time, and it was right before, it was late summer, early fall, that kind of deal. And he said, start throwing a buzzbait. He said, as soon as you start feeling the first cool night, start throwing a buzzbait. And I remembered that. And I took John at his word. And, well, it was weird because it wasn't long after that I went on like a little run. These are little certificates that the Virginia Game and Inland Fisheries would give you for what they call a trophy fish, which had to be, I think, either 8 pounds or like 22 inches long for a bass. Well, this one I caught on September 17th. And I think, is this the one? Yep, this one I actually have on the wall over there. Weighed 8 pounds. Came on a buzzbait. And then, about 2 weeks later, caught another one that weighed 8 pounds. That was 25.5 inches long. Even got a little picture of that one up there. But the gist of the story is, as the nights get cooler, days get shorter, I would just start, it's crazy how fishing has changed. Back then, I pretty much had 3 or 4 rods that I fished with, and that was it. I had a buzzbait, I had a plastic worm, most time red shad, I had a Bomber 6 or 7A crankbait tied on, and I had a spinnerbait tied on. And that was it. I would go between those 4 baits depending on where I was fishing and what I was fishing all day long. But the buzz bait I used to use back then was one at a tackle store that everybody in the area used to shop at. And it was called a Top, Pop, and Buzz. And that buzz bait was one of the first ones I ever saw where the blade hit up against the head, and it just made a ton of racket, ton of noise. And I used to catch so many fish with those things once I found them and started fishing with them, and just kept it in my hand, and just, you almost got to be relentless with it. And this is the time of the year when I start doing that. Now, the Top, Pop, and Buzz ain't around anymore. I looked for years, and it was a little bait company, I believe, in Tennessee that made them, and he sold them at that tackle shop. And now I just throw the Booger Man. You've heard me talk about this buzz bait a lot. And it's got the same principle. Blade smacks up against the head and makes a good racket. And don't have skirts on them anymore. I either put a Yodo worm or a swim bait or twin tail or frog or something on them. But it's still the same thing. Now's the time of the year when I just put this buzz bait in my hand and I throw it and I throw it and I throw it. And some days you don't get as many bites, and some days you get a lot of bites. But the crazy thing is, it seems like now's the time of the year when the fish you catch on the buzz bait start to get bigger. And it's just something that I lean on a lot. The month of September all the way now through December is a buzz bait. So summer's almost over. We're starting to wind down and get the cooler weather. The bait fish are going to start bunching up more. If you're out there and you don't know what to, and you just can't get anything going, pick up a buzz bait and just keep it in your hand and just go. Throw it around everything. Throw it around anything and everything, any hard cover, any wood, boat docks, bridge pilings, stumps, riprap, any kind of rock, and it doesn't even have to be hard cover. Just pick it up and throw it and cover as much water as you can cover with it. And you might be surprised at what you catch. I'll be doing, I love fall fishing. This summer has really kicked my tail, so I'm looking forward to fall this year more than I have in a while. You guys know I like to fish moving baits. So I'm going to be doing, hopefully getting to do some on the water stuff this fall to go a little bit more in depth with things. And a buzz bait is something you're going to see me throwing a lot. So just pick up a buzz bait, go down and just cover water with it. Just keep it in your hand and just go. And you might catch an 8-pounder. You might not catch an 8-pounder. You might catch a lot of fish. You just don't know. But this is the time of the year when this kind of bait can really put them in the boat for you. The conditions are changing. The fish are changing. They sense the change in the air. The water temperature is going to start dropping. And the fishing is going to start getting better. And they're going to get a lot more active. Pick up a buzz bait. Just cover water. Catch some bass. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you.